Brian Kelleher versus Kevin Croom. We got minus 290 on Boom and plus 230 the return on Kevin Croom. Kevin obviously stepping in on super short notice here for Saeed Yokub Kakaramanov, who unfortunately had to pull out due to COVID protocols. And I believe he said he'll be ready to come back in about 2 or 3 weeks. However, Kelleher's in Vegas, wants to throw down, and luckily enough, they were able to find Kevin Croom to accept that dance and throw down with him as well this weekend. Now, obviously, Kevin Croom is a 145er, so this fight will be taken at 145 pounds. Very much looking forward to seeing how Croom looks on the scale, especially with taking this on short notice nature. And then Brian Kelleher, we know he's a lifetime 135er, but has fought at 145 pounds a couple times. I'm sure he's happy to not have to cut the extra 10 pounds. But how this fight goes down, I backed Kevin Croom last time around when he fought Alex Caceres. However, I just did not get what I thought I was going to get, especially considering what he's been able to do on the regional scene. And a lot of that was pertaining to his cardio, and it seemed like he had a giant cardio dump against Alex Caceres in that fight. Got very sloppy, and if it was a heavier puncher, which we're getting here in Brian Kelleher, I think he probably would have gotten knocked out there. He was going for a lot of desperation takedowns, and he can't be doing that against a guy in Brian Kelleher, who I consider to be a better wrestler than him. Not to mention, if you leave that neck out against Brian, he's going to take that shit home with him, which is why I think he should be, well, not just because of that, but I think he should be favored due to being the better overall fighter here. Better power in his hands, better wrestler, better grappler, in my opinion. The only thing that Croom really has an advantage in is the fact that he's going to be the bigger fighter in this spot. I don't think that's going to pertain too much, though. I don't think that's going to matter too much in this spot, especially considering the power, the speed, and the overall MMA game of Brian in this spot. Not to mention, he's had the time to prepare for this specific date, whereas Kevin Croom is just taking it more so on a whim. I'm not saying that Kevin has just been sitting on the couch and eating Kellogg's or something like that. I think he's in there actually training, but I don't think it's to the extent or with the motivation with the fight in mind, right? Now he has a fight in mind. So I'm interested to see how he looks on the scale to begin with, and then how he looks come Friday night, or Saturday night, I should say. Obviously, heavy chalk here on Brian Kelleher, but rather than taking the chalk, I think he's very live to actually get a knockout in this spot. So I'm going to be looking to pursue that Brian Kelleher inside the distance. But as of this recording, there are no props out for the specific fight. I'm assuming that it's going to be, close to even money, maybe even small plus money. But I'm hoping that they give us that plus money, because I would be more than happy to take a shot on that. So I like Brian here. Again, I think he's the better fighter overall. And I think it's just a matter of time before Kevin Croom starts slowing down, starts leaving the openings for himself, for Brian Kelleher. And I do think that Brian Kelleher will capitalize on those openings and find the knockout or submission. Don't get greedy by picking a specific prop. Just pick the inside the distance, because I think that's more than likely going to happen in this spot here. So I'm going Brian Kelleher, and I'll call it, let's go second or third round KO.